can't see the video.
I think we're all blocked for the videos. I think you need to unvideo all of us one by one.
I don't know why that's so weird. I'm going to go ahead and just make you guys all co-hosts then. It should automatically give it to you. Okay, Dr. Shaw, everyone should have camera available. And I think we have everybody coming into the room.
All right. All right, everybody. Well, welcome. I'd like to welcome everybody this afternoon. I am a member of the Lewis Stokes Midwest Regional Center of Excellence leadership team, and I will be your moderator for our webinar today that will be talking specifically about non-biomedical post-baccalaureate programs. Just a reminder before we get started with the webinar, it will be recorded. So as a registered participant, you will get information by email that will give you access to the recorded session, as well as it will be posted on the LSMRCE website. Today, we're going to talk about post-baccalaureate programs. And just for clarity, post-baccalaureate programs, as opposed to just taking post-bac classes, are generally structured programs. They may last a year or two. They usually have some application process that has parameters around it for qualifications and specific areas of study that will be specified in the program. So that's kind of the difference of a post-bac program and just taking both post-bac classes. Now, today we're going to have representatives that are going to talk to you from several different programs, and they're going to give you program-specific information like the application process, the timeline for the application. They'll tell you the benefits of their programs, and then hopefully they'll give you some pointers on how to be a very competitive applicant. Now, the way we're going to do it, we're going to start off, and I'm going to have each of the different programs give you a short presentation, maybe 7 to 10 minutes about their program. And then after that, we will look into the Q&A. So in the chat, if you have questions, please share your questions with us. We'll answer your questions at that point. If we don't have any, or if we get through with those, I will pose questions to the panelists, because often I think of things that you may want to ask and you may simply be too shy to ask at this time. And I believe by the time we get through that process, we will be completely through with the webinar. Once again, thank you both panelists and audience for your attendance, and we'll start the webinar. Let's start out with the program at Baylor.
Thank you. I will share my slides. Can everyone see these slides? Okay, I am happy to be here today and share about the post-bac program at Baylor College of Medicine. I have the distinct pleasure of being a former participant and alumni in the program, and I'm standing in representing Dr. Deborah Murray, who is the director of the program. So it is the Human Genome Sequencing Center, HGSC, Pre-Graduate Education Training Program, PGET, and it's at the Baylor College of Medicine. And now I have here on the slide a picture of Baylor, as well as the Texas Medical Center and Rice University, because students are involved at each of these institutions, staying at Rice and working at Baylor, and there's opportunity for preceptors at the Texas Medical Center as well. And to give you a brief background on who I am currently a senior instructor at Virginia Tech Carilion School of Medicine in the Department of Health Systems and Implementation Science. So the program at Baylor, I'll give you highlights, application requirements, and then I'll share about my personal experience and how it's impacted my own career journey. As a post-bac program, a bachelor's degree is required in order to apply and to for your application to be considered. We are looking for students that are interested in PhD programs, so solely research, but also students who are interested in MD, PhD programs. So you're looking to be possibly a physician scientist. The research interests, there are ranges of research interests that are available. The focus is on bioinformatics, and mainly we are looking for students that have a willingness to learn. So you don't have to have an in-depth research background, not coming with years and years of experience throughout your undergraduate career. The goal of the post-bac program is to provide that additional experience. And so the main thing is you have a career goal focused on research, and your interests are aligned with bioinformatics and the program, and you have a willingness to learn new skills. So the highlights, it is a paid position. The salary is $29,000 a year. The program duration is 1 year. And for the training, there are research projects that are available with the HGSC, Human Genome Sequencing Center faculty, as well as molecular and human genetics labs. So there are a range of different experiences that are available to students. And I should point out, all the pictures that I have along here are former participants in the program, along with the program director, Dr. Deborah Murray. Now, the activities in the program, in addition to gaining additional research experience, there's also preparation for your future career as a scientist, going into graduate school, into a career in research. So that includes preparation courses. So there's a Kaplan GRE preparation course that's a part of the program activities. There's also tuition that's provided for science courses to take advanced skills. There's our travel that's provided for research conferences. So once you have advanced in your project, you're able to present your work and learn about scientific presentation skills. And then there is the opportunity to take a molecular and cellular biology course with other BCM baccalaureate students. Now, I wanted to give a brief perspective as an alumni of the summer program. So I participated in the HGSC program the summer after I graduated from Prairie View A&M University. And my experience, I'll just say it was really pivotal in advancing, first of all, just opening up my perspective to the career options that were available, preparing me, and then advancing my skills as a researcher and as a scientist. So the different components that I shared before, the training and professional development, that preparation for graduate school, it really helps bridge the gap between where you think you want to be, but then getting ready to be prepared and to be a successful applicant. There's also experience in working with other scientists in a collaborative environment, so you have the opportunity to prepare to be a professional as a scientist. And then the mentoring, I think, really is key in having a supportive community of your peers and to have mentors in the lab and then as a part of the program. And what is done for me as an alumni, I was able to be prepared for future fellowships. Immediately after I finished the program at Baylor, I then had a research fellowship at Tufts Medical Center. And throughout that, then advanced to other research fellowships. I was able to refine my interest and focus my goals along the way. And it started out with having that experience at Baylor in the summer program. Additionally, with the training, not only did I get training as a scientist, but I got preparation for graduate school. So I went on to, after the summer program, getting a Master's of Public Health and MPH at University of Alabama at Birmingham. I completed a DRPH, Doctor of Public Health degree at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. And I also completed a postdoctoral fellowship at Harvard as well. And so what the impact has then been on my career has been a range of different research opportunities at medical centers and hospitals. As I shared, I worked at Tufts Medical Center, also at the Birmingham Veterans Affairs and at UAB Hospital. Following my master's, I've been able to work in the field of health. I've worked at the Mississippi State Department of Health, and I'm currently faculty at Virginia Tech Carilion School of Medicine. So just making that progression from having a summer experience to having mentoring, having preparation for graduate school, and then being able to have a faculty position. So in conclusion, it is a great opportunity for students to explore careers. These are pictures of various students that have participated in the summer program at Baylor throughout the years. I have here the contact information for Dr. Murray at Baylor, her email and the website for additional information about the program and the requirements. And I can even point out, I have two classmates from Prairie View, Dr. Lori Banks and Dr. Stacy Lloyd, who are both professors, one at Baylor and one at Bates College. So just being able to have a post-bac experience and having an institution they can invest in you can really make a difference for your career. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wesley. Next, we'll have someone talk to us from the Buck Institute, Dr. Chen.
Great, thanks so much for having me. Let me get my slides up. Oh, isn't it? Great, can you see? Great, so thanks so much for having me here. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the Buck Research for Institute on Aging, our post-baccalaureate research program. And so the Buck Institute, just first off, probably wondering what we are and where we are. Well, we're the first independent research institute devoted to studying aging and age-related diseases. And we study there's a large collection of faculty at our independent research institute, studying a wide variety of age-related diseases and aging mechanisms in general. And here are kind of just a few highlights of some of those research areas that might be of interest to you. Different diseases such as Alzheimer's, cancers, Huntington's, Parkinson's, looking at lots of different biological processes, autophagy, inflammation, metabolism, a lot of different kinds of neurodegenerative aspects. Different model systems. We're looking in C. elegans, Drosophila, mouse, cell culture, iPSCs, and things like that. And using a lot of different kinds of approaches, computational research, drug discovery, genetic engineering. So there's a lot of different kinds of research that you can join, in each of the different labs. We have two main programs. I will highlight the Summer Scholars Program because we do accept students that have recently graduated and are kind of looking for a bridge between the next step in their career. So for instance, if you're going to grad school or med school in the fall, or a job, you could potentially bridge with an internship over the summer. I'll focus mainly though on the post-baccalaureate program, but these training goals kind of apply to both programs. So the main thing is we're trying to give you kind of a snapshot of what it's like to be a researcher. And so we're going to try to give you a little bit of independence and have a little bit of a agency in planning and executing your project. Obviously, you'll learn new technical skills as you complete the research. We're going to try to give you some of the skills that will help you in your transition to a PhD program, such as exercises that you would do in a lot of classwork, such as a grant proposal. And being able to talk to different kinds of audiences. So getting a little bit more practice in talking to lay audience, and then also getting a little bit more practice giving formal presentations and being able to answer questions and feel a little bit more comfortable in those sorts of environments as you move forward in your career. A few highlights of the details of the program. So it's sort of a combination between being a research assistant and then also being a trainee. It's a salaried position for 2 years. There are opportunities to continue your career at the Buck, either continuing as an RA. We also have a master's and a PhD program here at Institute. And as I mentioned, a mentor research project and presentation practice. few of the highlights. It's available to anyone that's graduated within the past couple of years. As I'll mention a little bit later, the application deadline is passed for this year. So next year, we'd be looking at applicants between the graduation classes of 2022 and 2024. It is open to international students. So I would definitely encourage international students to apply via OPT authorization. We are flexible in the start date. There's no set start date. It would just kind of be a agreement between you and your mentor, typically between graduation and the start of the fall in September. We have kind of a targeted research project application process. So you would actually be applying and getting into specific labs. So you'd actually know which lab and which project you'd be joining. And there, just to emphasize that it is a training program, we are hoping to help you get into the next phase of your career. So we'll have work flexibility to go on interviews as you progress through the program. So how can you apply? We have this website that you can go to on the Buck homepage. It says internships, but it also has the post-bac program information located there as well. We have posted project descriptions that I was mentioning, where you can find out specifically what you'd be doing in October. The online application launches in November. The internship applications are due in mid-January, the post-bac applications in mid-February. Be sure to read the directions carefully and fill out all the forms, and reference letters are required. And just as a final quick point, I meant to put this at the front, but I forgot to move this. We are located in California, in Northern California, just north of San Francisco. And if you want to know a little bit more about the Buck and what it's like to work here, we have some nice videos on the career website where you can learn more about the Buck in the Bay Area. And that's it. Here's my contact information if you have any further questions or would like to talk to HR about any of the career opportunities at the Buck.
Thank you.
And let me see, I need to.
Okay, while he's doing that, the next
Stop sharing.
presentations will be from Harvard University. The first one will be from the School of Engineering and Applied Science. So we'll do that one first, or if the other presenter is ready, we can do that one, but we have two.
I'm ready. I can go if that's okay.
Yep, please do. Thank you.
1 second. Let me make sure I can find the screen I'm sharing. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karina Gonzalez, and I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Director of Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging in the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences in the Division of Medical Sciences. Long title, it just means I have the honor and privilege of working closely with our graduate students, as well as students who participate in a couple of our summer research programs and our post-baccalaureate program, which I'll be talking to you about today. So at Harvard, we have the Research Scholar Initiative. RSI is the name of our post-baccalaureate program. And let me proceed. Our program is a non-degree granting program, like many of the post-bac programs that you're going to be hearing about today. The main goal of our program is to provide a mentored research experience for individuals who are interested in pursuing doctoral studies. So any student who's interested in pursuing a PhD degree. Our program at Harvard is a 1 to 2 year program. It is tailored to each student depending on their on the preparation that they've had so far on their portfolio. And really the goal of our program is to ensure that the students have the opportunity to continue to build on the skills that will allow them to hit the ground running in their PhD programs. So it's very individualized. For some students, that means that they're mainly focusing on research while they're participating in the program. For other students, it means they may be taking 1 or 2 courses to address any blemishes they may have had along their undergraduate degree in terms of grades and courses. All students start in our program around July 1st, and this allows students to get a longer research opportunity before applying for graduate school, especially if they're going to be applying within the first year that they're participating in the program. And we make sure that we do this in part for the students to get connected to each other, to have a longer opportunity to connect with each other while they're also doing research, and also before all of the other graduate students start their PhD programs. All students who are participating in our program are participating in a weekly core course, which is led by myself as well as the other program co-director. And this core course mainly focuses on strengthening those skills like critical reading of the literature, presenting research, writing scientific proposals, and then also getting an opportunity to connect with other faculty members hearing about their research. At the same time, we also have professional development opportunities, and again, a lot of mentoring and advising throughout the time that the students are participating in our program. The students are treated like graduate students, so that means that you will be presenting your research at least once or twice per year, and that will be a presentation that takes place between program co-directors, myself, my colleague, your research mentor that you're working with throughout the year, and then potentially one other faculty member to provide some advice and guidance on the research projects. Students who participate in our program are fully funded, so we provide a stipend similar to what a graduate student receives for pursuing their PhD. We also cover tuition for any student who may be taking courses, and then we also take care of the cost of health insurance. Students also participate in social outings, and you can see some examples of these, like Red Sox games, or going on a cruise, or going on karaoke nights and things like that. One thing to reiterate here is that the goal of our program, while we hope that the students will join us and apply to programs at Harvard, our goal is really to make sure that the students are well prepared to go to any program that is the program of their choice, whatever works best for them. And here are a few photos for some of our recent students in the program, as well as some of our current students during some of the social outings, or after one of the classes on the top right hand corner. And one of the areas that I wanted to cover is the various programs that we have at Harvard in the life sciences. It is a group of programs known as Harvard Integrated Life Sciences, so HILS. We have 13 programs, and students interested in participating in our program can participate in the laboratory of a faculty member in any of these 13 PhD programs, which means you have a wide range of faculty members to select from. And we place the students in lab groups based on the students' interest. We also have another arm of our post-baccalaureate program, which is more focused in neurosciences, and I can also share more information about that as well. We also have students who are participating in the program who are interested in engineering, and these are two new areas that we have incorporated into the program. Similarly, we occasionally have students who are interested in classics and in economics, so I just wanted to mention that. And some of our alumni have gone to many different institutions, which you see listed here, many top institutions. The program and the students who participate in our program, about 90% of them are admitted to PhD or MD PhD programs, and they tend to go to the programs of their choice. In terms of preparing an application for a program, so eligibility-wise, a student has to have completed a bachelor's degree before the start of the program, which I said was July 1st. You have to be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. And we are currently able to accept any students who are interested in participating in life sciences, classics, and this is not updated, but also engineering. The application materials are usually some demographics like you would fill out for a PhD application or for a summer program application, a statement of purpose. And one thing to highlight here is that your statement of purpose should really be a research statement where you talk about your interest in pursuing research, any research experiences you've had so far, and what you hope to get out of the program. 3 letters of recommendation. It's better when some of these letters come from any research mentors if you've already done research. And then a CV, resume, and copies of transcripts. So similar to the other program that we've heard about today, Our deadline to apply to the program was February 1st. Sometimes we make exceptions. So if anyone here is interested in applying to the post-bac program, I will share my information in the chat. Please feel free to reach out. We may be able to take a few additional applications. So typically we interview potential candidates in the month of March, early April, and then in April and early May, we make the final decisions about who will participate. Then we go through onboarding and match the students with faculty mentors around May and June. And then the program starts July 1st. So you can also scan some of the scan codes that you see here to have access to an interest form if you're interested in applying. But again, I'm going to share my email in the chat if anybody's interested in applying. And then you can also get more information or ask any questions about the program in the email address that's provided here. And I believe that is my last slide. Yep, that's all. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. So it appears you covered both programs, correct?
It's possible that it is, but I'm not sure if there's another colleague who wants to add anything on the engineering front.
I think it's you. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so the next program that we'll do will be the National Science Foundation has an Includes program, and we have someone here from the IGEN's programs that will give us information about the post-baccalaureate programs.
Hi, my name is Miranda Gallagher, and go ahead and share my screen here.
Thank you.
So I have a chemistry PhD from, I went to Hopkins in chemistry, and I am now an administrator for the National Science Foundation grant, the Inclusive Graduate Education Network grant. And this is a subsidiary of the American Physical Society. Some of you may have heard of the scientific societies that support students like you throughout the country. So this is a partnership between the American Chemical Society, the American Geophysical Union, and the American Physical Society. So thank you for having me here today. I want to say that the material here is based upon work supported by the National Science Foundation, the Eddie Bernice Johnson's Include initiative, and any opinions or findings or conclusions of this material are those of myself and don't necessarily reflect the views of the National Science Foundation. Just have to do that. So IGEN is the Inclusive Graduate Education Network, and our vision is to achieve equity for those who are underrepresented groups in doctoral degree attainment in the physical sciences. And the way that we're doing this is through systemic and cultural change, which is our long-term goal. And then we have a shorter-term goal, which is supporting the transition of folks like you into graduate school. And so these two goals go hand in hand, where we have systemic culture change of training our departments in inclusive mentoring practices and how to hire holistically instead of, say, hiring through GPA. And then the other side of it is that we are really supporting the transition of as many students as we can support into graduate school. So bridge programs are partnerships between scientific societies and degree granting institutions to identify those with the potential to develop like a feeling of belonging. And we also provide through our scientific societies this market pressure to provide an alternate pathway to graduate school. Like many of the programs that have been described here today, we have post-bac pathways, we have direct pathways to graduate programs, and then we have transitional master's pathways where students can exit with a master's, and then they are prepared to apply to a PhD either at the institution that their bridge program is at, or a PhD at another institution, and they'll support you through that process. It's designed to increase the number of PhDs that are awarded to underrepresented minority students that identify as Black, Latinx, and Indigenous. And it's an alternate option for students that have either experienced barriers that prevent them from applying to graduate school. And these are the kind of the structural barriers that we're working to break down. And so they may not have been accepted through the traditional methods because we're still working on how do we help change the way the graduate school applications are structured. Students are selected for admission to this graduate program through a holistic and a very competitive process. We have about a 40% application success rate. So the bridge application is an applicant and review system with the applicant in mind. So this is one free application that you complete. You indicate your interest if you want to go into chemistry, geoscience, physics, maybe you want to go into all three. And you mark as many subfields of research as you want. And you sign certificates granting permission to share this information with the scientific societies. And then we go ahead and distribute that to over 99 departments across the country. So this is one application and it's free, and it's to several places across the country. And you can go ahead and scan that QR code up in the top corner at any time to start your application. So from our perspective, we're here to support you. We host the application portal for all the disciplines. If you email bridgeapp@ignetwork.org, you reach any of us. And we support from the spring application stage all the way through helping you matriculate as graduate students in the fall. And that's, talking to you about what is orientation going to be like? How do I, find housing? All those types of questions. Our team is here to kind of support you in that transition to graduate school and work with the department that you matriculate with to see what your needs are. You can email everybody if you go to that first email address, or you can individually talk to somebody at the scientific society if you email those individuals. Eligibility, right now you must be a US citizen or a permanent resident. Some departments accept with DACA status, so we have you indicate, just click the permanent resident button for that. You have a bachelor's degree in the sciences, or you're working to get one right now and you're going to graduate by 2023. You don't have a PhD, and you satisfy some criteria that you either didn't apply to a graduate program or you didn't get in. We encourage you to go ahead and apply now, even if you haven't heard back yet from graduate programs. And then be committed to improving diversity in the physical sciences. The application materials that you submit is what are you interested in? What do you want to do research in? 3 concise statements demonstrating your skills, your interest in STEM research, and just kind of like help us get to know you, like what a personal statement of what makes you you and why would you be a good fit for why should somebody hire you. 3 letters of recommendation, where at least one of those has observed you doing some sort of lab work. We realize that not everybody has had lab experiences, especially the way it's been for the past couple of years of us being in and out of labs. So we do understand, so somebody who's observed you in the laboratory, even if it's not like a specific research experience. And then you do your education history and your work and professional experience, personal contact information, and then of course permission to share all this with all of our partners. The interview timeline, the whole application and interview timeline here is from December 15th all the way through March 15th. You can apply. And then after that, in early April, the Bridge partner departments will begin reviewing the Bridge applications. Mid-April, they'll interview applicants. And so you can expect from March 22nd onward to be receiving emails. On average, everybody receives 1 interview. Some people receive up to 10 interviews. So it's a lot kind of to manage in terms of getting all those emails. So look out for those emails March 22nd onward. And then they'll interview you, and we'll have an orientation for you to prep you for those interviews and talk about what can you expect that happens during an interview. And then lastly, they'll extend you an offer for admission. On average, the people that get interviewed receive one offer. So we really want you to consider this is your offer to get to graduate school. So really kind of consider that, ask all the questions that you need to of the department so that you can make the best decision. Like I said, there's so many different pathways to graduate school here. And so I think the best thing that you can do is go to our website, look at the map of all of our grad programs across the country, and kind of just see all the different paths to graduate school that we're providing you here. 98 universities, 142 sites across the country. There's something for everybody. There's snowbound Alaska. There's Hawaii on the volcanoes. If you want to do the physics department in Hawaii, there's amazing Florida. There's so many great places. Of course, there's one at Hopkins where I went. So like, there's just go ahead and explore there and see all the places that you might get an interview at. Once you go into this, you can click into the individual schools and hear all about videos from alumni telling you what it was like to be in the program. And each of them has a link to the department webpage that you would be matriculating into. So specifically for the chemistry side, they have a couple different program types. There's post-baccalaureate program. There's 7 of those. There's 33 that are masters, and then 4 that are directly admitted into the PhD program. The ACS Bridge program really seeks to increase the number of students from underrepresented groups obtaining a PhD in the sciences. And the students in these chemistry programs are going to take advantage of research experiences, advanced coursework, mentoring, coaching. Some of these are even provided by IGEN ourselves. We provide, most recently, we had a mentor training for that was attended by about 65 mentors that mentor Bridge students. So we're training them on how to be mentors as well. So it's not just you in these post-bac programs that are receiving training. It's also the faculty that are mentoring you that are receiving training. Applications for this are due March 15th through that process that I just described. It's really unique each department to each department as to what your experience is going to be. So please reach out to all of our Bridge teams here if you have specific questions about what it would be like at one department or another. For moving on to physics, you can learn more about the Physics Bridge program by scanning this QR code or going to this website. There are 47 programs. They're either transitional masters or direct admit into PhD. The transitional master's programs are really prepping you for your PhD application. That means you're gaining extra research experience. Whereas the direct admit to PhD, they may realize that, okay, maybe you didn't take quantum. So they're going to sign you up for quantum, and then you're going to just go take quantum while you're taking your other classes, and then just keep going with your PhD program. So they're definitely looking at your resume and making sure that, like, okay, if there's any gaps, let's just get you that training while you're in your PhD program. Applications, again, are due March 15th. And the APS Bridge program has been around for a little bit longer. So actually, we have some graduates that have gone on to do some excellent things. We have an engineer at Intel. We have a postdoc at Los Alamos National Lab and FSU's Mag Lab. And then we have somebody who's gone on to postdoc in academia. So we have an expanding network of graduates for the Physics Bridge program that you can kind of tap into and talk to you about, you know, what do you do after a PhD from this program? Lastly, AGU, the American Geophysical Union, is a program that offers this free application to graduate school, which is due, again, March 15th. And there's over 45 graduate geoscience departments across the country. And these are all direct entry into graduate school where you leave with either a master's or a PhD. Again, you're all considered graduate students when you matriculate here. Students identifying as Hispanic, Black, African-American, American Indian, Pacific Islander, Alaska Native, or Native Hawaiian are encouraged to apply for the AGU Bridge program. Also, AGU added to the application a language section because some of our programs are very interested in doing work in other countries. And so you can actually say, you know, what languages you speak to say, like, if you are, could be an asset to that department if they want to go do research in a foreign country. So thank you very much for your time and for inviting us to be here. And please apply now for the bridge application.
Thank you so much. That was quite interesting. All right, so we have a presenter from LSU, Louisiana State University. That will be our next presentation.
Hello, give me a second for sharing my screen, please.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the invite to present about our new program. This is the Louisiana Graduate Network in Applied Evolution. And this is a training program from recent graduates, as most of the programs that you've been presenting here. And our focus is to use evolutionary biology for you to conduct research in origins of biodiversity, organismal responses to changing climates, or evolutionary epidemiology. But we are not limited to these subjects. This is a project that's based here in Baton Rouge in Louisiana State University, and it's been founded by the NSF RAM programs. To begin, I want to give you, we would like to give you an overview of the program. So this is a year-long research program where we are going to give a lot of skills for if you join to us. So for this, you will be participating in a research bootcamp, plus other activities such as STEM conferences and workshops. And we also want to bring up field trips to universities, field stations, and give you more opportunities to create and build a great network with in this cohort. And we're not limited just to scientific events. So we are also planning to do a bit of more events that will be trying to develop and create these connections. So to begin in this year-long research project, you will become a member of an active research lab here based at LSU. But you will also be co-mentored by scientists that are partnered at other universities. Such as we have participants from Tulane University. We also have professors that are at University of Louisiana in Lafayette. So with this, you will create such a connections of knowing different types of commentors and mentors, while you're also learning how to perform research. Furthermore, at the beginning of this program, what we wanted to do is to create this research bootcamp where you will participate in a month-long bootcamp to build those skills that are necessary for careers that are useful in STEM. So at the beginning, we also will give you to get acquainted to the LSU campus, facilities such as the libraries, where it's any other type of laboratory that you will need for your research. And some of the workshops that we have listed here for this program includes, for example, ethics, research design, data collection, data reproducibility, field safety, scientific literacy. We also plan to do more about communication and building a CV. Additionally, the research skills that we include that you will learn during this program is that you will have laboratory skills, data analysis in our skills, but also machine-based research. And now I will let my colleague, Dr. King, to explain you more about the program.
Hello, everybody. Thank you again for having us today. My name is Tisha King, and I will be working with Anna to do recruitment for LAGNiAppE. So a little bit more about the program. Participants will attend conferences in STEM and also workshops. So one of the conferences we're planning to attend is the National Diversity in STEM Conference in Portland, Oregon, which is hosted by the Society for Advancing Hispanics and Native Americans in Science. We'll also have a NSF GRFP workshop, and this workshop is, or NSF, they give out a fellowship each year to a collection of students that fund you through graduate school. So the workshop will be targeted towards allowing participants to make the best application in order to receive the fellowship. And then finally, at the end of the year, participants will also participate in a year-long or in a research conference. So at the end of the year, everybody will have the opportunity to share things that they have been working on in research. And you can go to the next one. Next, we have a few field trips to other universities, as well as field stations and national parks around Louisiana. So 2 of the field sites are the Oyster Research Lab at Grand Isle and also Abita Springs, that a lot of professors or labs will typically visit in order to collect samples for their research. And then also, outside of getting to know LSU campus and seeing some of the facilities, we'll also have other field trips to other partner universities planned throughout the year. And then finally, just to go over a few of the frequently asked questions or things you need to know about the program. As Anna stated, it's a year-long program that begins July 17th, 2023 and ends July 14th, 2024. It is based at LSU in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Participants will receive a stipend of $34,050, which will also cover health insurance. And you must be a U.S. citizen who has earned a bachelor's degree within the last 4 years. And there is no requirement for past research experience for the program. And then finally, if you have any questions, feel free to email us at evo_LAGNiAppE@lsu.edu. The application is due March 31st this year, so it's still some time to apply. And there's a link to the website so you can learn more about the program and also get access to the application. And thank you for inviting us again.
Thank you. All right, before we go to see if there are any questions, have any of the presenters thought of other things they wanted to share after listening to all of the presentations? If you do, feel free to share it. If not, Deb, do we have any questions in the chat? I haven't seen any.
We do have one in the Q&A, and it
Oh,
is for
good.
the Baylor School of Medicine program. The question is it just tailored for students interested in an MD, PhD, or are there students with interest for MD programs also eligible? Additionally, do these programs guarantee students a spot in medical school when they participate in the program? That's question number 1. You're muted, Dr. Wesley.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. As far as I know, it's for PhD or MD PhD. I don't know if there is a track for MD only, but I can refer the applicant to Dr. Murray and to the Baylor website. And then what was there was an additional question?
The second one was about, additionally, does the program guarantee the students will get a spot in the medical school if they participate in the program?
As far as I know, there is not a guarantee listed in the program materials, but that's another question that can be referred to the Baylor contact.
Thank you.
And if I can jump in, I think most of the programs, there's no guarantee that you'll be admitted to any program. We hope that you will, and that's what we will work with you towards, but there is no guarantee. One other thing I meant to share while I was presenting, and I completely forgot, is that we've shared information about some of our post-bac programs, but there are additional post-bac programs that students can find if you look up NIH PrEP, NIH PrEP, and I can share the link in the chat. You can find a map that has the multiple locations where they have post-bac programs. Most of the post-bac programs are for students who are interested in either PhD or MD PhD. These programs are not necessarily catering to students who are interested in MDs.
Thank you. Any
And the
additional?
question, I was gonna say,
Oh.
the question that we had was related to RSI, and I think that you might have answered it. Did you, Dr. Gonzalez Herrera? Says, it is a non-degree or is it a degree program at RSI? And does it enhance one's academics for health professional schools like medical school?
Yeah, so it does not enhance preparation for medical school, and we do not provide a degree as part of the program.
Yes. Thank you. And that's generally the clear distinction. Most post-bac programs are not degree programs. They're programs to help you get into a graduate level program. There may be some specific ones that track you into a program, but there's usually no guarantee. All right. Well, I have a question for our panelists. Can you tell me the percentage of your students that you've had in the past in your program that have actually gained admissions into graduate programs, if you know? Any ideas? Or maybe, oh, okay.
I was going to say, the program that I'm running right now at the Buck Institute has only existed for a year and what are we at 3 months or whatever so far. But I could talk about, the programs in the past that I've run that this program is now based on has been, I don't know, it's something, I believe it was something like 80% have gone to some kind of advanced degree program, whether that's an MS, a PhD, MD, PhD. A lot of the students are going into advanced degree programs. That's generally speaking why they're just sort of taking the gap year.
Good. Yeah. And anybody else? I mean, some people keep that data, but you're right. You're a young program, so you really don't know specifics yet.
Yeah, they haven't gone far enough for me to really know.
Yeah.
For our Harvard RSI Postbacc program, I think it was started in 2010. And of the participants in the program, about 90% of them have applied, been admitted, and matriculated into programs. There have been maybe one or two who decided to explore other areas before matriculating into a program. And of those students who have participated, some have completed their PhD degrees and have gone into various sectors, one of them in academia, but a couple of other into venture capital biotechnology.
Good, thanks.
For LAGNiAppE at LSU, we're also pretty new. So this is the first year that we'll be having a cohort. NSF just started to fund these RAMP programs, which are research and mentoring for post-bacs. So this will be the first year for LSU.
Wonderful.
And I'll say I participated in the program in 2003. So it's been around for a while and very successful. I don't have the exact numbers, but Baylor could give those numbers.
Well, we'll use you as a testimony of the success. How about that? Okay,
Thanks for that.
On that note, how well does the program prepare me to actually gain admission in beyond just the application and the research, but I'm talking about prepared to take graduate level entry exams and preparing my research statement, maybe redoing my resume. Does it do those type of that type of training as well?
I'd say over here at the IGEN Bridge program, for the ones that are transitional masters or are post-baccalaureate programs, that is the intent of the program, is to support you through that, to either matriculate at the school that you're at right there, or to reapply through the bridge application or a traditional application in the fall. So each person has a unique pathway, structured and growth mindset of what is needed to kind of get their application to some people are missing research experiences, some people are missing an advanced course that just wasn't offered at their institution. So it's very unique to each student to make sure that they need in order to complete that application. I'd also say that a unique part of the bridge application, the bridge programs, is that they're supported by the careers departments at each of the scientific societies. So we have career mentors that you can hook up with. We have people that do resume reviews at our societies, and that's open to anybody who's in these bridge programs.
Great. Okay, I'm gonna go on and get one more in before we wrap up. So how certain do I need to be about what area I'd like to do research in? Do I need to be pretty much decided in a couple of areas? Can I come in, with an exploratory mindset? Or is this truly a place, because some programs really don't want you to use this as a gap program where you're trying to figure out what you're doing. Some programs want you to be really knowledgeable that this certain grad track is where you want to go, maybe not necessarily a specific area, but in a certain area where multiple areas can be followed. Do I have to know that, or can I come in and say, I'm thinking about biomedical engineering, but I'm also thinking about chemistry, and engineering sounds good, and you know what, I may really just want to do that one that had the economics. Can I do that? I'm asking this from a student's perspective, mind you.
I could talk a little bit about ours. I think one of the things that's nice about our institute is there's a lot of collaboration. There's a lot of different kinds of projects. So I think there are students who will come in and want to try a bunch of different things and there's a little bit of time and a little bit of leeway to go, oh, okay, where's the best project fit for your interests and your developing interests? And then we also try to do a career seminar series that's to some extent personalized to each cohort. So if a bunch of students come in and they're like, I've been here 3 months and I want to get away from the bench, and here, let me figure out how I could take my career in different ways. We'll try to get speakers from industry, from business sector, from investment, things like that to try to help them with their decisions.
Good. Anybody else? Anybody is you got to come in with being in a certain area. You don't have to have a specific, but you just need to have an idea. Is anybody's program more specific?
For us, the LAGNiAppE and at LSU, it's similar. We do offer some certain already projects that comes from mentors, but we are not limited to that. But we want to target the interest of the people that's applying for it, and then having also the mentors and co-mentors that they have their own research, they can build something that's for interest for the students, and they can start bringing their own ideas to the program. So in that sense, and as well, being part of being mentored with different people, they will give you a different overview of what type of careers you can do and research that you will be like to do.
Good. Okay. Well, I think we've come to the end of our webinar. Once again, I'd like to thank both the presenters and our audience. I will remind you that Deb will put a link in the chat that will be to our survey. So can you please just tell us if this has been something of benefit for you as a student, and if it has helped you, and please, feel free to share the information with friends and colleagues who may be interested in some of the programs presented today. And with that said, once again, the Lewis-Stokes Alliance the Lewis-Stokes Midwest Center of Excellence and our leadership team would like to thank you for joining us today, and we wish you all the success in your career goals. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.